Who cares? You know, why do I care? Who cares? And so maybe as a former Secretary of State, why does this matter?
Well, it matters because no matter how strong we are, the United States can't do everything by itself. And if you look at what the issues are out there that face a president, they have to do with fighting terrorism, dealing with nuclear proliferation, looking at the environment and energy problems, dealing with the growing gap between the rich and the poor abroad. All those issues are not just issues for foreigners, they are for what affects our day-to-day life. And if the United States is doing well and popular, it can do something. I think the nuclear issue is a really good one. That has one to do where, and the U.S., we haven't really talked about, but we have managed to get a sanctions resolution on Iran. That has to do with the nuclear issues. And so how it'll be carried out is another issue. But the bottom line here is that our national interest, to a great extent, depends on our capability of working with other countries, and so that popularity does make a difference.
Can I just, mild dissent, suppose that what is unpopular is U.S. assertiveness. In that case, to the extent that we're pushing forward our national interest, we become unpopular. And that's what that is my suspicion. That is my suspicion of what these polling numbers show. That, I mean, President Obama is a very attractive person, a very attractive politician, and he's very popular. But to the extent that he is asserting an interest of the United States, the popularity declines. To the extent that it's a more sort of hands-off approach to the problems of the world, popularity goes up.
I have to disagree with this. I think that the interesting part here is the following, that I'm always troubled by the question that's, does the U.S. take your national interest into consideration in creating your own national interest? The only way to operate in the 21st century is if there is some attempt to find a correlation of national interests. And therefore, you have to work with the countries. We cannot deal with nuclear proliferation alone. We have to take the lead, but we have to be able to be in a position to persuade other countries to do it with us. So assertiveness is not just a matter of using force. Assertiveness is the capability of aligning interests. And one of the hard parts dealing within any political situation is whether diplomacy is viewed as a weak tool. It actually is a strong tool if, in fact, it is used to try to find this confluence of interest. So it's not just a matter, when you say doing hard things. Doing hard things is not just mobilizing the militaries. Doing hard things is getting consensus on how to deal with some of these issues. And it's hard. There is no question. I happen to believe, as I have now been tagged with, the U.S. is indispensable. But there is nothing about the word indispensable's definition that says alone. And so it's a matter of, this is the hard part of working this stuff. And so we may disagree about what the hard things are.
Andy, did you want to do it?